Apalak, hi, how are you?
Hi Amit, all fine. How are you?
I'm doing good, Apalak. And I'm sure that you will enjoy this particular episode because, we're covering multiple stories, around data centers. A lot is happening in the world of data centers in the past week, right? Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, Apalak, they have inked a large-scale data center deal with Adani and Airtel, respectively. Google has signed up for a 28-year deal in Navi Mumbai for a data center location owned by Everonder. Would you like to provide more details?
You bring a smile to my face, Amit. So many stories around data center, and I can't be happier, right? So big week in the world of data center. So let me take each of the stories one by one. So the first one is the big one, Adani. Who are signing up a deal in the state of Andhra, right? And they plan to invest around close to 14,000 crores in phases, of course, right? And it is estimated that the total IT load of this data center park would be close to 200 megawatts. And just to give you a perspective, Amit, because for those who don't under the semantics, there was a time, and because I don't have the exact number right now, but there was a time in India when the overall IT load of third-party data center or co-location market in India was close to 600. The entire country. And now we have one data center park which is going to come up with 200 megawatts. Imagine scale, but it is great for a state like Andhra. We have to understand this also because every state is right now trying to get investors onto their states to set up data centers. But this is an extremely capital-intensive industry to begin with, right?
Right.
The government gets a lot of money also. So if you see, typically the states which have ruled so far. For instance, there have been significant investments obviously made in Bombay, right? Bombay is the number one, still is the number one, it's a capital of data centers in India at least. Then, thanks to proximity to Delhi, Noida is soon emerging as a big destination for data centers. Then you have Chennai, right? The reason for Chennai and Bombay is very simple because they are ports. Cities, right? So all the landing stations, the subsea cables come and land in these cities of Chennai and Bombay. So making co-location is an absolute no-brainer, right? Now, but keeping that in mind, why I say this is because this particular investment that Adani is doing in Vizag, right? So you have to read the story properly. So for Andhra, right, after we had Telengana, so Andhra really wants to look at other cities building up in terms of brand, right? So these kind of strategic initiatives will help Andhra government position Vizag as a tier 1 town. Right? And this kind of investment does not come easy. So people in the know are aware of the fact that the Andhra government has given a 20-year tariff concession to the Adani group. The other word for that is subsidies. Completely in the purview of and the government has all the right to give that to attract investors. So and they want to make a big splash out of this because apparently this is going to be inaugurated in the month of March during the Global Investor Summit, right? So and that takes you to the second story, which is as you mentioned, Airtel signing up a story in and around Hyderabad, if I'm not wrong, and they have promised to invest close to around 2,000 crores to set up a hyperscale data center. And if I remember my facts correctly, it is to set up a hyperscale data center of around 60 megawatts of total IT load. Right? this is again going to happen in phases. So let's but you have to understand why all this strategic, because this particular announcement that Airtel is going to launch its next hyperscale data center in Hyderabad. This was done in the Telengana Pavilion at Davos in the very recently concluded World Economic Forum. Right. World Economic Forum, it doesn't get bigger. It's the biggest platform in the world right now.
Right.
So it is a position of strength. So you have to understand, cities have started operating as corporates. This is the way they market themselves to the world. That this is the place that you need to come and invest. And data center is that one sector where as we have seen in the past, where demand outstrips supply. As soon as you have a colo, it gets taken up either by hyperscalers or by enterprises. So this is an enviable industry to be in. But very, very important to note that it is a sector where only guys with deep pockets can survive, right? And the third, and I'm talking about deep pockets, nothing bigger than this story, because everybody likes numbers. The third one I said is Google paying 8.83 crores of monthly rental, Amit.
Right.
8.83 crores of monthly rental, but for a space of 3.81 lakh square feet.
Right.
Gigantic proportions. These are gigantic proportions. And the interesting part, and this is going to come up in Navi Mumbai, right? This park, this data center park, is actually owned by EverYonder, as you mentioned. Which was a JV that was struck in 2021, if I remember correctly, between the Yonder Group and the Everstone Group. So the Yonder Group is a global multinational which specializes in data center operations, owning and servicing data centers, right? It's a US-based organization, and Everstone, as many people know, is a private equity firm. So EverYonder was formalized. It was a JV to run the data center operations in India, right? I think the JV was close to $1 billion, right? This park, I think, is estimated to have close to 90 megawatt of IT capacity when fully developed, right?
Right.
Why this story is interesting? Obviously, just for the sheer numbers, but also, I track the colo market fairly closely. What I'd like to inform you, Amit, is generally the notion is, most of these hyperscalers tend to go for colo providers who have established credentials of operations in a particular geography, right? But here, you have a company like EverYonder, which is relatively new as far as the Indian market goes. They have tons of global experience, but relatively new as far as India market goes. So what you have to really understand is, with these big tech firms, which are all global tech US firms, most of them are US firms, and many of these data center operators who are coming in, right, for the likes of Equinix, EverYonder, all these folks, the fact that they have global tie-ups, global understandings, makes for a very compelling story. So this is an area that is a wait and watch, because this is a market which can only be played by big players. Either you have the global giant like the Equinix or EverYonder or the world, or you have or entity the Japanese giant, or you have local players like Nexta Data, which is owned by Airtel, or say Yota, which is owned by Hirandani. So big. This is purely a big boys club.
Absolutely, Apalak. Thank you so much, Apalak, for the great insights, and I look forward to connecting with you again next week. Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Bye.
Bye.